But in all of this, we'll tie it into the budget. Last week, the Minister of Finance, Ato Forson, some say Ato is forcing, some say Ato is deceiving. He was in Parliament. He read the budget to all of us. From the paper, from what we see, Ato is doing very well. I don't know if Kamal will agree with me. But from the macroeconomic indicators that has been stated to us, the inflation rate, which is a single digit, the exchange rate, we are talking about a stabilized cedi, which can be used by business people, the fuel pricing, all the macro, the MPC rates and so on and so forth. Then we come into the construction sector, the agri sector, all their inflations gradually coming down. Kamal, your people, the minority in Parliament, have said that this is a dress code for us to wear and not see the proper systems of the economy.
You see, just like I gave the history of the cedi and how it fared from 1965 till date, and which should have been a stronger currency, but unfortunately, we are having a sad story to tell about the currency, just as a result of our own attitude. So will I say, or will I speak to this budget? We've seen budgets upon budgets since independence. And let me just narrow my conversation to the fourth Republican Constitution since 1992. Okay? We saw what Ghana has gone through to where we are. And I would like to make an emphatic point or statement that, look, government is a continuum. And government being a continuum, that is why we have handing over to the next government. And when you hand over to the next government, whatever preparation that you have made towards the building of the economy is equally handed over. The budget we are seeing today, look, let me be fair. Clearly, like you indicated, all these, figures, talk of the inflation, talk of the forex performance, talk of the macro indices, economic indices, all those things, of course, point to a positive direction. Because we had built a foundation as a government when we're living in 2024 for them to inherit and then spearhead sake. So I'll give credit to Ato Forson for making sure that fiscal prudence has actually been maintained, and then we move on. However, the fiscal prudence that, of course, that you have maintained, which you inherited from your predecessor, is also seeing so much tightening. Why am I saying seeing so much tightening? Today, purchasing power out there is a no. Many people do not have money to purchase. That is why your inflation is down. As simple as that. Why? What is inflation? More money chasing fewer goods. It's a simple definition. And today, the money that is supposed to chase the goods is lacking. About 60 billion Ghana cedis is deprived of the people of Ghana. And that is why this policy of demand and supply is actually not operating well, and you feel that artificially your inflation is good. Again, let me add this. You see, I've always maintained that the current government should not gloat too much. And not just me. Most economists, I am not an economist, but I've listened to them. They say, look, you see the performance of a government in the third year or the fourth year, where your fiscal, if you like, policies may change as a result of your capex or your capital expenditure. And see, Kwesi, in the first budget that they had, why am I saying you will see the changes when you're in the third year? The first budget you had, you told us that you are going to give 51 million to Women Development Bank. No show, zero. You told us that you are going to give 13.8 billion into your big push project. And all you could do was to give them 7 billion. You told us. Now you are telling us in this same budget that Women's Bank Development Bank, you are going to give them 401 million Ghana cedis. When you didn't even do 51 billion, you are now talking about 401 million. When you couldn't do 13 billion, you are now talking about 30 billion. And you are talking about roads. The 7 billion you even gave, we have not seen the roads that in the first year that you use the 7 billion for the big push. We are sitting here, you are telling us again that Education Ministry alone will get 33 billion. And that out of 33 billion, you are going to build schools. You are going to build what? Let me ask you, in your first budget, when you told us that teacher for Debre, you are going to build houses for them in the first, you didn't do anything, no show. We are sitting in this country. I am not a prophet of doom. I am not somebody who is a naysayer, but I'm saying that when you say you want to do something, do it. The same way they told us when they came, they were going to build all the free SHS, amount to 200. How many were they able to do? 44. Ghanaians have soon forgotten. We have not forgotten. We will remind them. So it is not about rhetorics. It's not about coming to write and say things. It's not about trying to tighten people with physical prudence, and the capex is a problem. Most of the institutions, you can come with a greater budget, but you don't even do allocations, and they are talking about it.
Right.
So for me, I think that yes, they have done well.
Right.
They have maintained it, but they should give credit to the predecessor, and they should also ensure that whatever they say they are going to do, they are going to do it, and let's see them doing it.
Forgive me, Cletus, I have 5 minutes to close, but let me give it all to you on the budget so that I can go into the Bank of Ghana, the conference center, and see what's happening. I'm told the president will be arriving very soon. If you're watching us, remember that we are coming your way live from the Accra International Conference Center, where the Bank of Ghana celebration of the 60th anniversary of the city is happening. Very soon, we'll be joining them in the auditorium where we are expecting His Excellency, the President John Dramani Mahama. But here, we are talking about the budget. In the next 5 minutes, it's all yours, Honorable Cletus.
Thank you so much. Let me commend the Honorable Ato Forson and the handlers of the economy for the success chalked so far. I have always maintained that I look at a budget in a much more simpler terms to an individual earner. So you look at your income and you spend within your income. That is basically what the Honorable Ato Forson is doing. Nothing more, nothing less. He's just being physically disciplined. He look at the revenue that comes in, then he tries to spend within his means. And that is what we need to do in this country. Look, anybody, take your own self. If you are spending beyond your salary, you are always you always be a perpetual debt. You always be owing. You understand? And that is what we've been doing over the years. And that is why the debt of this country ballooned to some 720 something billion. Because we kept on borrowing. You borrow to spend. You borrow to spend. You borrow to spend. So the Honorable Ato Forson is saying that let's spend within our means. In that case, let's look at our revenue and spend. That is basically what he's doing. Because somebody asked him, what is the strategy? What is your plan? Because you seem to be doing so well in your handling of the economy. Then he said there is nothing magic about it. It is just I'm being physically disciplined. That is just what he said. And I believe what he said. Look, one thing that he's doing so well that people should applaud him is the fact that we've been able today, all the macroeconomic indicators are positive. Very positive. Very, very positive. My brother alluded to that and just said that we should commend the previous administration. I have no problem with that. But let's also, just like he also commended the current regime for maintaining the gains or whatever they think they did, and we are maintaining it. You understand? But they should also remember some people were there before they came and they failed to maintain the gains, and we ran into bankruptcy and all of that. And all the economic indicators were so negative. They were so negative at the time they were handing over.
I thought you were going to keep to it.
You understand? Don't worry.
The good things that are
yes. So let me just tell you that look, one of the things that he's doing so well is the fact that the statutory releases is something that I am very happy about. Get fund is on cap. Health insurance is on cap. Common fund is on cap.
For the MMDC.
Yes, these funds were capped and the monies were being centralized. When we actually need these monies at the local levels. Today, the municipal district assemblies are so happy that so much is being released to them for development. You understand? In my assembly, so far, two quarters, they've got almost 8 million Ghana cedis. Just 2 quarters. 2024, they've got not up to 1.5 million Ghana cedis for the whole year. And just 2 quarters, they have some 8 million plus for development. Third quarter, I'm told, is being released again. So it tells you now when you go to the assemblies, every officer there is so happy. They are working. They are doing projects. You understand? But my brother,
you know you can't do 1 year to do. You can't use 1 year to do roads. You know that very well. You know that very well.
That's a subtle admission.
You understand?
The fact that you took the money and you didn't do anything. That's an admission. I'm
the
not happy
money,
about it.
nobody has spent any money. What we are doing is that look, when we came into office, you heard the Honorable Ato Forson talking about audit and the amount of money that Ghana was about to lose in terms of
says what? We can use 1 year for roads.
Yes,
but we can use 3 years to do an express road from Accra to Kumasi.
Anyway,
yes, for 3 years, yes, it's possible. For 3 years, it's possible.
Anyway,
3 years is possible.
Anyway.
But I'm saying that you can't use 1 year. When we came, we were also packaging the roads. Procurement processes were ongoing.
I like your honesty.
Yes, procurement processes were ongoing. Now, sources have been cut. Contractors are on site. Next year, we will, when we are on this platform, my brother, then we'll be able to tell that the Hang JPC Navrongo Road, this is the amount of work that has been done. That is how we'll be able to assess the government. So let's assess the government.
So let me say thank you very much for this
morning.
Thank you,
my brother,
for joining us right here in our
for us to discuss.
studio.